2023 and welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to be making one of my favourite cheesecake recipes. We're going to be making a no-bake KitKat cheesecake. Now what I love about this is it's such a showstopper. It's perfect for like a party or a birthday, especially if that person loves KitKats, but it's actually really easy to make. So I'm going to show you how to make it today, step by step, give you all my tips and tricks. So let's get going. We're going to start by making the base. So I have 350 grams of Digestive biscuits and 170 grams of melted salted butter. I'm using salted butter today because I felt like making a salty base. But if you want to use unsalted, then that's perfectly fine too. So I'm going to start by crushing my biscuits in the food processor. Because I have a mini food processor, I'm going to have to do this in a couple of batches. But you can also use a bag and rolling pin if you don't have a food processor. Okay, let's blitz. The wrong way. Let's blitz. So they're really nice and fine now, so I'm gonna pour them into my bowl. They're a bit stubborn today. There was a few in there that just did not want to crush. Now I'm gonna add our melted butter, and then I'm just gonna mix them all together until it resembles a wet sand. Right, so I'm gonna set that aside and I'm gonna bring out our tin. I'm using an 8-inch springform cake tin and I'm going to line it with one of these handy, already cut for me, 8-inch cake liners. So this is the fun / semi-stressful part. We're going to place KitKats all the way around the outside of the tin. So, or the inside of the tin, I should say. However you want to say it, whatever. So you're going to have them, so the KitKat part, you know the bit with the, what does it say on it? My break bit on it, that's gonna face outside, outwards. It's gonna face outwards. I feel like I'm shaking. You know what? KitKats actually aren't too bad for this. I did it with chocolate fingers once, and chocolate fingers don't have a flat base. And just one tap and they fall down like dominoes. So as you can see, I'm placing them really nice and close. We probably could get another half in here, but I'm not going to. I think I'm just gonna space them out nicely. There you go, no one would know. Okay, so this is very vulnerable right now. So we're gonna put our base in and that is gonna secure them. So this is a very thick base, but there's a reason for that. A, it holds the KitKats in place really well, so they're not gonna like fall inwards. But also, we want this to be a tall cheesecake. Because the KitKats are tall, you don't wanna have like a short or shallow cheesecake and then for the KitKats to be sticking all the way up at the top. It just doesn't look as good. So now from the middle, just pushing down really nice and gently, we're gonna start to level it out. And you will see the KitKats move, but they're safe now, don't worry. If I did an ASMR version of this, would you guys watch it? Where it was just like cheesecake sounds, biscuit sounds. That is nice and level, really firmly pressed down. So now I'm gonna put it in the fridge and that's just gonna help to solidify it whilst we make the filling. Next step, we're gonna whip our cream. So I have 450 milliliters of double cream here, so I'm gonna pour that into our bowl. Make sure your cream is nice and cold as that's what's gonna give you those nice stiff peaks that we want. Okay, nice stiff peaks. So I'm gonna set this aside, I'm gonna grab another bowl and we're gonna move on to the next step. Next, I'm gonna add 500 grams of full fat cream cheese to my bowl. This is at room temperature as that helps it combine more easily. Also, I like to use Philadelphia cream cheese or the Lidl Goldessa one is also really good. They're really nice and thick. We're not using any gelatin, so everything needs to be really thick and sturdy. Now I'm gonna add 120 grams of icing sugar plus 1 to 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. That was a lot. I think that was a bit more than I anticipated. Doesn't matter, we're gonna have a very vanilla-y cheesecake. If you wanted to make a chocolatey KitKat cheesecake, then once this is mixed, you can actually add in some melted chocolate as well and then mix that in. That'll make it really nice and chocolatey. So I'm just gonna whisk these together now until just combined. Perfect, so we're just whisking here until it's lump-free. You don't wanna overmix, otherwise it can go runny. Now, we're gonna add our whipped cream into our bowl. All right, and then I'm gonna fold this in with a spatula. What's your guys' favorite flavor cheesecake? If you could only have one cheesecake for the rest of your life, I know it's really realistic, which cheesecake would it be? I had a cinnamon roll cheesecake from Cheesecake Factory and I think I would choose that. Shall I make it? Shall I try and make it? I feel like it would be a process, but oh my gosh, it was so good. I've just brought my cheesecake out of the fridge and I'm going to fill it with the cheesecake filling. So again, you want to go nice into the middle because you don't want to get cheesecake on your KitKats. So I'm going to start with that much and then I'm just going to press it down. So making sure it goes all the way to the edges so you don't have any pockets around where the cheesecakes are, KitKats are. So this doesn't have to be perfect on the top, but it needs to be as level as possible because we're gonna top it with a chocolate ganache. If you didn't want to add the chocolate ganache, you could just like top it off with crushed KitKats or something like that, or just leave it how it is, but I kind of feel like it needs something else, you know. Now I'm gonna make our chocolate ganache for the topping. So I'm making a dark chocolate ganache because I think it's the best looking one and it's really nice and rich. But if you wanted to make a milk chocolate ganache, you can. I'll put the ratios on screen and what I'd recommend if you wanted to make a milk chocolate one instead of a dark chocolate one. So what I'm gonna do, let's hope there isn't a splash here because usually I do it the other way around, but this is the way I'm doing it now. I'm gonna put my chocolate into my cream and I'm gonna microwave that for about a minute on about 500 watts. And basically, we're just melting them together. That's really all chocolate ganache is. It's really nice and easy, but it's really rich and oh, it's so delicious. So let's go put this in the microwave. So the idea here is that you heat the cream enough that it melts the chocolate. You leave it for a minute or so after it's been in the microwave, and now we're gonna stir it, and hopefully it should all come together. And if it doesn't, a little bit longer in the microwave. What you don't want to do is if you heat it too hot, then the cream can curdle. So we don't want that. So as you can see, it's turning chocolatey now. If your ganache is too runny for your liking, then you can just add a little bit more chocolate. And if it's too thick, you just add a little bit more cream. Okay, amazing. So that is done. You can see how like thick and glossy and shiny it is. It's so nice and rich. So I'm gonna pour this over our cheesecake now. Okay, and now we're just gonna smooth this out. And you wanna be relatively quick with this because obviously the cheesecake mix is quite cold. And as soon as the ganache hardens, it's gonna be really difficult to spread and you're not gonna get that like nice, smooth finish. Oh yeah, that looks good. Last step, I have 6 chopped KitKats in here. When I say 6, I mean like 6 full KitKats, so 12 fingers. And I'm literally just gonna sprinkle them on top. The only thing I will say about sprinkling KitKats on the top is cutting it is a little bit tricky. I mean, what you could do, if you're really smart, mark out or like mentally mark out where you're gonna cut it, and then you could put them in between them so that you could, when you cut, there's no KitKats in the way. Does that make sense? Okay, that's probably enough, right? I would say that's probably enough. So I've got a few little bits here that I will eat. Perfect. So I'm gonna put this in the fridge now. I'm gonna refrigerate it overnight. Minimum, you need to refrigerate for at least 6 hours, okay? Because everything needs to set, the ganache needs to set, it needs to be really firm when you cut it. So let's head to the fridge. This is heavy.
One eternity later.
Here she is, my pride and joy. We're gonna cut it. This always makes me nervous, but we're gonna do it. It's gonna go well. Okay, I've mentally prepared myself. My knife is warm but not hot, so that's gonna help slide through the ganache. Okay, the moment of truth. Let's see what it looks like. Oh yeah! Yum. What does it look like from your angle? Does it look good? That looks good, doesn't it? Okay. We did it! Guys, we did it! Okay, this is the moment that I've been waiting for. We're gonna try the cheesecake. Okay, now I need to get in between these KitKats. Oh, yes. Can I fit this all in? I can fit this all in, can't I? Give me a minute. That tastes so good, like the thick buttery base. The base is actually one of my favorite bits. And I lost a KitKat. And then like the creamy vanilla filling. That's like the lightest part of it. Like it's really light and fluffy. And then the contrast of the thick ganache on top. And then the crunchiness from the KitKats. Like, oh, it's just so good. I'm gonna go finish my cheesecake. So that is the end of today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what cheesecake you would like me to make next or any other recipe suggestions. If you're new here, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, because I forgot to mention this the entire video, I have a new book. So basically my book is all easy baking. There's some really fun recipes in there and every dessert is baked in one tin. So it's available to pre-order on Amazon now and it's out on the 2nd of February depending on when you see this. You might be able to get it straight away. So on that note, thank you so much guys and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.